Hi, here we are for our third and final video on the first unit for AP Music Theory. What I'm going to suggest is that you pause the video right now and take all of these down in notes, the basic rules for manuscript notation, and then restart it, and I will be talking about it and showing you how it works on a staff. Okay, you should pause it now. Okay, now that we're unpaused, I am going to demonstrate these. Okay, so the first one says stems are approximately 1 octave in length. So if I go here and make myself a handy dandy treble clef, when they're talking about stems are 1 octave in length, here I have an E, right? And the line is going to go up approximately 1 octave. This is really cool stuff when you're looking at your music in band, chorus, or orchestra. You'll notice a lot of these things. Okay, so number 2 is melodic lines. Singular lines, so if there's only one melody on a line. The middle line and up, so starting from a B right here, the stems go down. I made that a little too long, sorry. And below the middle line, so if we're talking about like an A, the stem goes up an octave. Great. This is a pretty cool one, number 3, ledger line notes. So it doesn't matter whether we're talking about like this D up here, the ledger line is always going to go to the middle line. So I could have a crazy note like this. Da, 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 da. All the way up there, and it's still coming down there. You could have bass clef, you know, those really low stuff, Chopin and Rachmaninoff writes all these crazy notes down here. The line is still going to go to the middle line like that, okay? Beamed notes. We're going to talk a lot about beaming in class. But when we're beaming notes, meaning we have like anything that's an eighth note or faster, when we go like this and we beam them together, you know, it's a little thicker and slanted. I did a bad example because I did 2 of the same notes, but they'll be a little thicker and slanted. That was supposed to be a G. Kind of like this. And, you know, you can think about them being slanted because the G is only going to go up to the G space and the A is going to go up to the A line. So that's where the slant is going to come from. Okay, hold on a second here. Let's clear this. And I'm going to take a quick break. Okay, and we're back. And let's go to number 5. When 2 melodies are on the same staff, stem directions distinguish melodies. Okay, so you'll have been playing music at some point. Let's put on an alto clef here. And you have 2 different parts on the same staff. There's the top part and the bottom part. Now, this is the thing where it doesn't matter whether everything is up here. Those stems should really go down, but they all go up because it's the bottom part. So that's how you know whether you're playing top or bottom. You look for the stem directions. And it can get a little crazy because what if I'm the composer here? I'm going to be crazy. And what if I want the top people to play that G, but I want the bottom people to play that D? And you might see stuff like that. So the stem directions are going to tell you what part you're playing. Number 6, and number 6 has a star because it's really important. You're going to be beaming eighth notes and smaller according to the beats in a measure. So if I'm in 2/4 and I have 16th notes, they're all going to be beamed together. And you're going to say to me, oh yeah, that's totally fine, I get that. But when I'm in 6/8, how many 16th notes get beamed together? Because the dotted quarter note is what gets the beat. So it's really 6 16th notes. You got to be careful, okay? Number 7, use flags for eighth notes and smaller, not grouped in a beat. So if you have a dotted quarter note, sorry, I should put a little stem head there. This guy kind of goes by himself and he gets a flag. If it was an eighth note, a 16th note, let's say it's a double, then a 16th note gets the flag. It's a triple, I can really go crazy with this, okay? But these are the flags. The flags are like this. If this were being grouped with other notes now, we'd get all of those, okay? This is really a flag in the beam. Number 8, connect no more than 6 notes at a time unless they're all part of a beat. So really we're only going to go 6 at a time. Is that 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Great, 6. Chopin does these crazy things where they might go, and he'll do something that looks like this, but then he'll put a 12 on top. So you know there's 12 notes in the beat. Number 9, beamed and flag notations are generally not mixed, except in traditional vocal notation. And so my question is why? Think about that for a minute. Okay, so the answer to why they can't be mixed is pretty simple. What do you have in vocal music that you don't have in instrumental music? And really the answer is words. So all of those syllables are really, really important. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the notes, and I want you to press pause and copy all of this, and then we'll go back to talking about it. Okay, so you pause it. Now we're back. Okay, so talking about this, it says irregular beamage is showed by Arabic numerals. So everybody's used to seeing triplets. Like, triplets aren't really supposed to happen in simple time signatures, like 2/4, 3/4, 4/4. We're really not supposed to have 3 in a beat. We're always subdividing down to duples or quadruples. So if we're going to have something that's not supposed to be there, we're going to mark it with an Arabic number, just like that. Okay, if I were in 6/8 and I wanted a duple, I would go like this and I put a 2 on top. Otherwise, they might be looking for, if I had this, you might be looking for the third 8th note as a rest. Okay, number 11, in compound meter, the pulse needs to be reflected in the beaming. Really, really important. So if you look at this here, it's very confusing to have a dotted quarter and then 4/8 beamed together and then the quarter note. You really have to do it per the beat. Here's a beat, here's a dotted quarter, here's a dotted quarter, okay? It's always going to be that way. We're going to spend a lot of time doing this in class, don't worry. Number 12, a whole rest is used for a full measure of rest in any meter. So I don't care if you're in 2/4, 3/4, or whatever, you're going to find a whole rest for the whole measure, like that, okay? Number 13, use 2/4 rests rather than a half rest in 3/4. So you'd go like this. Okay, going to the last page of notes right here. You should press pause. And now we're going to talk about it. Okay, so in chordal notation, the higher note is always to the right regardless of stem direction. So I suppose I should tell you what chordal means. Chordal is really, we're talking about multiple notes at the same time. This is, like, I'm not going to get all tricky with you because I'm not even sure. Let's see, this is going to be the higher note, and here's the lower note. Like that, if they're close together, okay? When a dotted note is on a line, here we go, the dot is slightly above the line, like that, which is kind of normal. Except when 2 voices are on the same staff, then the dots are below the line, on the notes with the stems down. Okay, so if this is the stem down, and then here we have this guy, and we have this guy, and they're both dotted. That one's going to go above, this one's going to go below. It's really just so you don't confuse whether that dot is with this, giving it some space. Okay, 16, dynamics. If you're doing instrumental, it's almost always going to be below the staff. If it's vocal, it's usually above the staff, so you don't get confused with the texts. if you're playing piano, it's between the staves unless it only applies to one staff. A lot of this is really, really technical. So don't feel like, oh, I have to memorize every single one. If there was a star next to it, you should memorize it. So number 6 is pretty much the only one that's important. Great. This is the final video for Chapter 1.